Welcome to Meaty-B's recipes. It's going to be my dad's birthday soon, and he grew up in Massachusetts. And one thing that he really missed when he moved away to join the military was lobster rolls. So in honor of him, that's what I'm going to make today. But my mom's Greek, so I'm going to put a little New England Greek fusion twist on it. So for this recipe, we're making two. We're going to need some New England style brioche buns, 2 small lobster tails, about half a pound, 1/8 of a cup of minced celery, 1/8 of a cup of mayonnaise, about 2 tablespoons. The mayonnaise is kind of to taste. And so are the chives. So a 1/2 to 1 tablespoon of minced chives, 1/2 a tablespoon of lemon juice, 1/8 a teaspoon of sea salt, 1/8 a teaspoon of black pepper, 4 tablespoons of butter divided, so half a stick of butter, 2 tablespoons to cook the lobster in, 2 tablespoons to brown the buns. And for the Greek part, I'm going to do 1/8 of a cup, about 2 tablespoons of capers, and just about a half a teaspoon of fresh dill. So first step is to chop everything up, and then we clean and cook the lobster. Okay, everything's chopped up, so we'll just mix that in with the mayonnaise and move on to working on the lobster.
Harbor hums with its briny tune under the glare of a lobster moon. Fingers sticky with lemon zest. This ancient
Okay.
flavor feels so blessed.
So the lobster is fairly easy. Usually you could do it with just your hand. Sometimes it does like to stick a little bit to the shell, so a butter knife is helpful. You could either do this with a pair of kitchen shears, but I like to just use a knife. Either way, you do have to give it a little rinse at the end. Make sure there's no shell. And I could already see this guy has a tiny bit of shell. But yeah, you just get your butter knife under the meat. It's a little small for my hands, otherwise I would just slip a finger in there. And you know, this meat's going to be chopped up and everything anyway, so it's not that critical. They didn't clean it perfectly, so I'm going to get rid of that. Give it a quick rinse, check for any bits of shell, any other parts of the digestive system that I don't want. And then you just give it a rough chop into, I don't know, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch chunks. You want it a little meaty. You just meaty-B's, but you don't want big giant pieces either. So yeah, you just kind of work it under the shell from one side and then the other. And it more or less comes out pretty easily usually. This one's actually a bit tougher than normal, but that's good. Yeah, we're gonna clean that stuff off and check it for shell. Give it a rinse and cut it up into chunks. Next step after this is just to cook it for a couple minutes, saute it in warm melted butter. The other one gave me a little bit of trouble, so it would be easier to use shears. But I'm going to go ahead and kind of pre-loosen this one, and we'll see how that works. So I'm just, like I said, putting the butter knife under the shell and working my way down. It won't really matter if I chew up the meat a little bit because it's going to get cut up anyway. So we'll see if this guy comes out easier. Yeah, I would say it was easier. Still a little stickage on the underside, but I didn't loosen that part up either. There we go. Okay, I have a pan over medium-low heat, so I'm gonna melt in my butter. And then I'll cook the lobster. It should only take, I don't know, somewhere between 2 and 4 minutes depending on your stove and the temperature. You do want to cook it gently. Almost, I wouldn't call it a butter poach, but you do want to cook it pretty gently because it can overcook quickly. These are pretty small pieces, so it's not too vital. They will cook pretty quick and pretty evenly. Whispers in the ocean's ear, each bite a story, a bridge to share between the white sands and salted air. You do want to make sure the lobster is nice and coated with butter, and you do want to keep moving it around periodically, again, to help it cook nice and evenly. That took just a little bit over 2 minutes. So now we're going to remove the lobster from the pan. We don't want a soggy lobster roll, and so we separate it from this buttery, lobstery juice. My mom likes to dip her bread in it. You could also add it to soups. It has great flavor. It just doesn't belong in the sandwich. So we'll save that for another day. Okay, I got my butter melted, and 2 tablespoons, and these New England buns, brioche buns, they're made different. They're split down the middle instead of the sides, so it's a little tricky to open them up. You just gotta be gentle with them, and if they split, it's not the worst thing in the world if they break, but if they're fresh and you're gentle, hopefully they'll stay together. And you just kind of lay them in the butter, move them around a little bit. This is not a healthy meal. It's a pretty decadent meal. So you do want to let that soak in. Give them a good toast. I'll take the lobster and the mayonnaise mixture out of the fridge, get them mixed up while these toast. Okay, my buns are nice and toasted. These things are so delicate that they're almost hard to work with. But yeah, you just take your lobster mayonnaise herb mixture and kind of load it up. Load it up to your desire. We had 2 tails and 2 sandwiches. So this is ready to serve now. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Lobster roll with a twist.